Hi, this is Doug Upstone, and he's Griffin Murphy, and we're both from DocSports, and we are here to talk some baseball. That's right. Every Friday afternoon, we are going to be here talking baseball, what's coming up either on Friday or for the upcoming weekend, and we're going to give you free picks, okay, just like you like. But we're going to give you some other information too. So we're going to be here throughout at least into August before the NFL kicks off the preseason, but we'll be here basically every Friday. And so, hey, Griffin, welcome aboard. Let's see what we can do here.
Thank you for having me, Doug. Yeah, man, I couldn't be more excited. I remember a year and a half ago back, we were talking about catching a game together back when I was living in Phoenix. And here we are now getting ready to do our first show together. Couldn't be more excited to be on with you, brother. And nothing makes me happier than chopping up baseball. My favorite sport to talk about, my favorite sport to watch, and most importantly, my favorite sport to bet on. So let's rock, brother.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I mean, this so anybody that doesn't know Griffin or I is that, hey, we like all the sports, okay? But when it comes to baseball, there's just something about first of all, just as fans, okay, how we like to watch the game, like to get into the particulars as to what's going on in any particular game that we happen to be watching. And then from a betting standpoint, I just find it very intoxicating. The at least 5 days a week, 15 games a day, that grind that goes from now the end of March, all the way through into October, or at least for the regular season into October. It's fascinating. It's fun. So here we go. Okay. Yep. It's a great time. So we got a format for you. And so one of the first things we're going to do is to go through each division, or go through a division each week. Okay. So that's one of the things we want to do. And so we're going to start with the AL East. Next week, we'll do the AL Central. And then we have, we will have best bets, by the way, at the end of the show. So make sure to stay tuned for those. Also for free picks, we will have prop bets along with series betting. So make sure that you take care of all that. All right. So Griffin, you ready?
Absolutely, brother. Always ready, man. Let's ride.
Okay, so I got the first thing up right here. We got the New York Yankees report. Now, the Yankees just left the land of crab cakes, dropping their 4-game series against Baltimore, settling them for second place in the AL East. Now, their offense remains above average, but it's not great. They're not even in the top 10 in scoring, needing Aaron Judge to get going. Yankees pitching has been outstanding. That remains in the top 5 for both starters and relievers. Concerning ERA, Pinstripes are rather mediocre, 8-5. I mean, now if that plays out, winning 60% of your games at home is fine, but right now at 8-5 doesn't sound so good. But honestly, Griffin, coming their next 2 series, including this weekend, I wouldn't be at all surprised if they beat both Detroit and Houston in series, and then maybe get out a little bit of a roll.
Sure. I like it, man. I absolutely do. So my game jumping at you right now, where really it just popped out to my eyes, Doug, was the Baltimore Orioles and the Cincinnati Reds. I woke up yesterday. I scouted this game out, and it had some lines some books weren't offering. I didn't get exactly what I liked. And then I woke up this morning and saw that what they printed out, and Baltimore rolls into Cincinnati. Baltimore is steamrolling right now. This is a very high caliber baseball team. They're 20-11 on the season. They're first in the AL East, and they are third in the MLB when it comes to offensive run production, with a very strong road record. Remember, they're playing this game in Cincinnati. They're 8-4 on the road this season. Another thing I like to touch up on is strength of schedule. Well, for Baltimore, they just completely ran through a red-hot New York Yankees team that managed to score 30 runs in 2 games prior to that series. Well, they cleaned them up and took 3 of the 4 games in that set. Cincinnati, on the other hand, well, they've dropped 2 consecutive games, and they're just 4-6 in their last 10 games. They don't have a lot of momentum rolling into this. The only thing they do have going for them is they're backed up by a very strong right-handed throwing Hunter Green. This guy can pop 100 miles an hour on that fastball, and he is good. And when he's locked in, he's locked in. He's 1-2 on the season with a decent 3.64 ERA, and his last outing is what really stuck out to me. I am very psychological when it comes to my baseball picks. And going into this game, he is coming off a matchup where he went 7 full innings, allowing just 1 hit and 0 runs. In psychology, your best performance is typically followed by your worst performance, and your worst performance is typically followed by your best performance. Now, he is going up against Cole Irvin, former Athletic. He was good with the A's. He wasn't great, but this season he's off to a phenomenal start for the Baltimore Orioles. He's 2-1 right now, and he's backed up by a team that has scored 19 runs in their last 5 games. Orioles minus 105 with the fair value line, Doug. That is my play. I absolutely love that game. So my free play right now rolling at you, Doug. I got the Orioles in this one, taking game 1 minus 105, brother.
All right, that sounds great. Now, the only thing I not question, but I wonder a little about Baltimore, and this is like more of a season view, is they have 7 blown saves already. Okay, this has nothing to do with tonight, by the way, at least specifically. And so to me, to truly become an elite team, they got to clean up that bullpen, especially the back end of it. Because here's the thing, in 1-run games, and this is where it's come from, they're only 2-4 to start the season, but in all other games, they're 18-7. So everything you just said about them being a dominant team, it certainly points to that, but they just got to get that bullpen cleaned up. And then, hey, you never know what goes on from there. So, all right, I'm going to move ahead to the Toronto Blue Jays. Talk about them a little bit here. You know, this team, it's an interesting team, and this does happen on occasion. Blue Jays, like say 3 years ago, were thought to be contenders, in the division.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they've been okay, in terms of doing around. But right now, if you look at Bo Bichette, Kevin Biggio, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., you look at them now, they're in their either mid to late 20s. This should be their prime, okay? Right. And this team is, bordering around 500. A lot of these guys, their batting averages have dropped in the past year. They have not come back this year again. So the question is, has this group peaked? And I think it's a legitimate question. So, it happens. For example, you lived in Chicago. The Cubs go on to win the World Series in 2016. That team never got better. They like reached their high water mark. So I look at the Blue Jays. They have enough pitching, to be a contender, but they're 28th in scoring. They're going on the road to Washington, and then they're going to go to Philadelphia. They're 7-10 so far on the road. I just don't know if that's going to be a winning road trip, Griffin.
Yeah, Doug, I love your analysis on that breakdown, because Toronto has all the star power to be one of the top contenders in the entire MLB alone. When you talk about it, you got Vladdy in the lineup, you've got Springer in the lineup, you've got Bo Bichette, and then you want to talk about their pitching staff. You got Kachuki on the mound tonight. You have Kevin Gossman in the rotation. This team is set up to be one of the most powerhouse teams in baseball. The problem is their run production. They are not backing up any of their starters. And if their starters do come out, like example, Kikuchi on the mound tonight, this is one of those guys that's going to come out and he's going to throw 7 straight innings and maybe give up 1 to 2 hits and maybe a run or 2. And then he's not backed up by any offensive output. Or it goes flip side. Kevin Gausman will come out. I want to say he's 0-5 on the season with a very high ERA. And this guy's a strikeout machine. He strikes everybody out. He doesn't get backed up by the offensive put. So for me right now with this Toronto Blue Jays team, it's forming that chemistry. And how many years have they had to do so? Enough years. It's finally time for this team to put it together. Right now, I don't love the way they're playing baseball, and I think they have all the talent to be one of those high-caliber teams. So they are one of those wishy-washy teams for me right now, Doug. I cannot disagree whatsoever with your breakdown at all. They're not playing good on the road. They're not hitting the ball well. And if they pitch well, they don't back it up on the offensive side. So I'm with you, Doug. They're kind of playing real weird baseball right now.
Yeah, that's where they are. All right, Griffin, now I know you're going to talk next about the Tampa Bay Rays. Yep. Take it away.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So in my eyes, I want to open this up to everybody. The Rays, they are a very overrated team, and they were an overrated team last season. They ended up very good with a very stout record, especially their home dominance. Last year, they were nearly unbeatable at home all season long. This season, that is no longer the case, and that is why this team is 14-18 on the season right now, 4 games below 500. They're 2-8 in their last 10 games. They've lost 2 consecutive consecutive matchups, their run production is pathetic. They're averaging 3.8 runs per game. And I saw earlier, I believe Mercedes is out tonight. That is one of their offensive bats in the lineup. This team has scored 6 runs in their last 4 games. That is pathetic. What is that? 1.2 on average? That's unacceptable. And then you go to the other side of thing with the Mets. New York last season, just like the Blue Jays, they have all the star power to be an outstanding team, and they just can't get that chemistry together to really flow as a team. But everybody overlooks one guy, and that's Jose Quintana. I watched this guy with the White Sox. I watched him with the Cubs. I watched him with the Pirates. Now I'm watching him with the Mets. He is such an underrated pitcher. He, as he goes throughout his career, is getting better. I get the fact that right now he is 1-2 on the season, but he's a strikeout machine. He throws from the left side. He has very nasty stuff when he is on. So with this guy right now, Tampa Bay, 8-10 during night games. This is a night game. They're hitting just 244 as a team. Quintana is coming off an outstanding outing. I want to say he went 7 full innings in his last outing and maybe gave up a run, or it was a hit, if I'm not mistaken. And New York, they're finally scoring runs. Tampa Bay, on the other hand, as I just completely ripped them apart, they are not scoring runs. They've scored 4 runs in their last 6 games. One of their best hitters is out on the offensive side. I don't see why the line right now is minus 150 in Tampa Bay's favor. Give me the New York Mets here at that plus 130 value line, Doug. I love this game. This game is one of those that really lit up to me, and this was going to be one of my premium picks. I ended up laying off of it because I found 2 plays that I absolutely loved. So, Doug, going into this game, I love the Mets here on the plus value, man.
Yeah, I hear you there. And the other thing about the Tampa Bay is actually they're exceeding their how they've played, because even though at 14-18, they're minus 43 in run differential, which is the second worst in the American League. And so a team normally, if you how the math works out, if a team is minus 43 for 32 games, they should be 11-21. So that tells you something right there. All right, I'm moving ahead to the Boston Red Sox. Wrap up this division talk. Red Sox fans, well, if you know anything about Red Sox fans, the expectations are always high, no matter what is going on.
Yes.
This team, 18-14, a surprise, I think, 3rd in the American League East. Nobody figured them to be there. Here's the thing, though. What's the thing that's working for them? Their rotation. They're number 1 in Major League Baseball in ERA with their starting rotation. Their bullpen is top 8. Nobody saw that coming this year. I mean, it just was crazy. And then of late, the offense has picked up, and they're moved into the top 10 in scoring, and they've won 3 of their last 4 series. Both Sox go on the road to face a red-hot Minnesota team this weekend, and they're going to play twice next week in Atlanta. They're 11-5. I'm not sure the record's going to be as good, Griffin, when they get done with this, but up to this point, Red Sox have looked great.
Doug, I couldn't agree with you more, man. And one thing that I have to take out and stick out right now, and this is more so for next week's show, we can kind of break down how this AL Central has worked out, but I have to give this to the Minnesota Twins. This team could not score a run for the entire first month of baseball. They looked absolutely pathetic. Then they turned it on offensively, and they are finally scoring runs. The pitching matchup tonight, I think Paddock's a little overrated in my eyes. He's already got a 5.89 ERA. Boston is a team that will capitalize. They have a very good on-base percentage, and they will score runs if you do make the mistake. Tanner Houck will get the start for Boston. He's got an outstanding 1.60 ERA, and I love this guy. He throws very well. He has nasty stuff, and he's sneaky. He gets himself out of trouble, and he doesn't find himself in trouble too often. So when I look at this game, this is more so for me being a fan, not necessarily wanting to have any action on this game, because I'll be honest with you, Boston, they're one of those teams that can come out and they can put 10 on the board like it's nothing, or they come out and just get shut out. Paddock, on the other hand, he's a risk factor. He's a liability in my eyes, and I'm just not sold on the Minnesota Twins right now. I get they're playing very good hot baseball right now, very hot, just tore up a gigantic win streak. I want to say they're 9-1 in their last 10 games. So in my eyes, I don't want to bet against the Red Sox, and I can't put my faith on the Twins in this one, Doug. So I am going to back off of this game. That is just my input. I don't love the game in a wholesome. That's where I'm at with this one.
Well, like I said, we'll talk about Minnesota more next week, but it hasn't hurt that they played the White Sox 7 times and the Angels 3 times.
Exactly,
man. Bring up strength of schedule. So, Hey, Griffin, before we get to the prop bets, let everybody know what you got going tonight in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, so in baseball today, I have a 2-pack. I have a 3-unit best bet. I'm currently 12-6 in my last 18 baseball plays, 18 selections. I went 2-0 yesterday. I cleaned up board. I had Houston, and I had I stole somebody else on a first 5. I loved the play. Ended up banging that one out as well. Went 2-0, so I'm on a nice little 2-0 run, coming in with momentum. Tonight, I have a 2-pack. 3-unit best bet and a 2-unit best bet. My 2-unit best bet is a plus 200 line, and it's a first 5. For those of you guys who know, I love my first 5 inning plays, and I execute them very often. So I really like my plays tonight, Doug, and that is where I'm sitting right now. 2 plays on the MLB slate, 2 plays on the NBA slate. What do you have rolling, Doug?
Yeah, well, myself tonight in Major League Baseball, I just like you. I have a 2-pack going tonight. Smaller plays. For me, April. Let's put it this way: if April showers bring May flowers? Well, that's kind of like my baseball. Okay, Aprils have not often been kind to me, but overall, I end up well. I've had a winning season 6 of the last 10 years. And 2021, I was a number 1 handicapper at Docs in Major League Baseball. So it's just a matter now. Get to the time, got more information on all the teams. Everybody's been home and away several times. So it's time to go, and I'm ready to go. So I fully expect to be going 2-0 tonight, Griffin, and my Major League Baseball plays. And it's something that I really like. I didn't make it a best bet, but like you, I'm something that I really like. Griffin, let's move ahead to some props. And so we've got some free plays to give out. So I'll let you start it off.
Sure. And my thing is going to be week in, week out. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, I love the Yerfy Nerfy. If it's baseball, I like that first inning over under. And if it's NBA, I like the race to 10. MLB is obviously the show here. So we are going MLB right now. And I'm going to hit you guys with my game prop. And that is going to be between the Toronto Blue Jays at Washington Nationals. And this is my breakdown for you guys. Kikuchi is going to get the start tonight. We already talked about the Blue Jays, and we already talked about Kikuchi and how this guy either comes out completely locked in and he's unhittable, or he has those very bad innings. So for my eyes, he is at points a risk liability. The Washington Nationals, no, they do not score a ton of runs, but they score runs early. They are second in the MLB when it comes to stolen bases. So you know that if Washington can get on base early in this game, they are going to try and swipe a bag and snag an early lead. Kikuchi, he's a risk liability, and he walks a lot of hitters. Washington Nationals, once again, second in the MLB in stolen bases. I could see by all means, if a walk occurs, if a base knock occurs, anything like that, a stolen base, an automatic base knock, swipe in, there's your 1 run. Then going to the other side of this thing, you've got Patrick Corbin on the bump for the Washington Nationals. This guy's ERA is a 6.82 whopping high. He is not having a good start, and he is a good pitcher. But right now, thus far, not so much. And then you have to look at the powerhouse lineup. As we've mentioned, the Blue Jays, no, they are not excelling on that offensive side, but they do have the strength and the star power and slugging percentage to hit the long ball in the first inning. With guys like Bo Bichette, Springer, Vladdy, Varsho, any of these guys can hit the long ball. So my play coming at you guys right now is drilling the Yerfy. Yes runs, first inning over 0.5 runs at a minus 125 line, Doug. That is where I am at with this one. Hit the Yerfy in the Toronto versus Washington game.
I like it. And now something that you said, and maybe this is just you said you like to do these types of plays.
Sure.
And I think we're on the same pages. We haven't talked about this, but maybe we just for people that are looking to do prop bets. It sounds like to me that you have like honed into an area that you're very comfortable with, and you have found some weaknesses in. And I'm exactly the same way. Is that I tend to just look for props in baseball at pitchers. and I look for whether it be strikeouts, whether it be number of outs that they get, or maybe if to register a win. Those are the three things I typically look for. So today, my free play is going to be related to one of those things. Dylan Cease on outs in his game here in Arizona. Now, Arizona offense right now is the exact opposite of the weather, okay? Whether it be in Vegas where Murphy's at or be here in the Phoenix area, averaging 2 runs per game in their last 7 outings. The news is only slightly better when they face a right-handed starting pitcher averaging 3.5 runs per game, which is 25th in Major League Baseball. The Snakes have only faced Dylan Cease once when he was a White Sox, and that was 2 years ago, and they scored twice in 8 innings against him in a loss. Cease, he's off to a brilliant start, 2.7 ERA, whip of 0.86, giving up not only less than a hit an inning so far, Griffin, giving up less than a hit for 2 innings pitched, okay? He has been lights out. I'm going to back Cease to go over 16 and a half outs.
I like it. Okay.
Yeah, we'll make it happen.
And me, hey, Doug, you know me. I'm a Chicago White Sox guy. I watched Dylan Cease throughout his entire career. I've seen what this guy's capable of. This guy can come out and pound 12, 13 strikeouts in one game. Yep. This guy can do it all. And he could also be on the bad side of things as well, as I've seen, because I've watched every single game this guy's ever pitched. But I'm going to back you on that one. I like that play for sure, Doug. I'm with you, my man.
All right, so let's move ahead to some series wagering. So for those that don't look at it, series wagering is just another opportunity. That's all it is. Is that you look at it. They've changed it. It used to just always be 3 games that you could, which is most series. But now that you see 4 games and stuff. But I would primarily stick to 3 because it just makes it that much simpler because you have 3 games. So somebody's going to win 2 out of 3. I'm going to get us started here. We're going to talk about the Cleveland Indians on this one. Now, our Indians.
Guardians,
how many times have I done that? Guardians, come on.
I know, Doug. I know, man. Yeah. I'm still doing it too.
Gotta think here, right? Okay. So Cleveland, no matter who they are, okay, whatever you like, okay, they're tied with Baltimore for the best record in the American League and the second best record in all of baseball behind Atlanta. The Guardians pitching, they're number 6, okay, and runs allowed. But here's the huge shocker. They're number 5 in runs scored. This team hasn't scored at all in the last 2 years. But now these guys that came up a couple of years ago, they're starting to mature, starting to figure out what to do, okay, and got something going on offensively, at least right now. Now they're going to play the Los Angeles Angels. And Los Angeles Angels, well, I saw them in spring training, and it was rather obvious this was going to be a dismal season. And boy, they are meeting expectations very well. And this one, their offense comes in ranked 21st, and that was before Mike Trout went down, and so all of his homers are gone. They are 28th in runs allowed. In this one, in terms of the games, game 1, Cleveland's a -175 favorite. Last I looked. Looking ahead, I think that in game 3 they're going to be at least that. I think Cleveland will be probably right around 140 to 150 for game 2. So I look at this one. So if you like the Indians on the warpath or you like the Guardians to guard your wager, the series bet is to take Cleveland minus the 190.
I like it.
Let's go right to your pick now.
I got you, man. So I'm going right back to Philadelphia versus San Francisco. So in this series right now, you have to take into account Philadelphia. They're playing hotter than all hell, man. 21-11 on the season, and they're going into this. All 3 games that they will be playing are night games. During night games this season for Philly, they are 13-6, and they're hitting nearly 260 as a team. They're 10-6 at home this season. Remember, this game is going to be played in Philadelphia, and they're coming into this matchup on a 2-game win streak, so they have momentum. It's simply put for San Francisco, and this has been the basis of their season for the past 2-3 years. They can't score runs. They have no run production whatsoever, and Philly does score runs, averaging nearly 5 runs per game right now. Philly pitching matchup tonight. They have Aaron Nola on the bump. He's pitching outstanding. He's 4-1 right now, and he has a dynamic ERA. Pitching matchup number 2 for the Phillies. They have Ranger Suarez, who couldn't be pitching better than anybody in the entire league. He's 5-0 right now, and I believe he has a 1.3 ERA, which you cannot touch that stuff. And he's a southpaw. He tosses from the left side. San Francisco does not hit left-handed pitching well whatsoever. And then finally, Taijuan Walker. He's 1-0 on the season. Did he come out to a fantastic start? No, he's got a high 8.6 ERA. They still managed to capitalize on a win. But dating back to last season with Walker, he went 12-4 with a 4.45 ERA. And this guy was their ace behind Nola and, Wheeler. Their rotation stacked. But this guy is a very good, underrated pitcher who nobody gives enough props to, enough attention to. And I love him here. So coming off a 12-4 season, then you get a win, giving up 8 runs in your first start, and you're 1-0 rolling into this game with home field advantage, 2-game win streak coming in with momentum. San Francisco has no run production, and you've got the Phillies swinging the bat, averaging 5 runs per game. And you can get this series prediction at a -175 line. Give me the Phillies to take this series at a -175, dog. That's where I'm at with this one. That is my free play.
I like it as well. In fact, you might have that wrapped up before Sunday. So whether Walker's on or not, that's I think Logan Webb's supposed to pitch on Sunday, but
yep.
I thought he'd be good. I really like Logan Webb. I've seen him a number of times in person because of spring training and such, and I really like him. But like last Monday, he pitched, and what happened? Okay, they scored no runs for him. So to your point, that losing that game. All right, Logan. I got the name. Griffin, we're gonna go. I know. We're next up is, now you mentioned you got baseball, so let everybody know about that again. And then I thought I heard you say something about the NBA, so expand on that a little bit.
So just a reminder for baseball, we're hot. We're coming off a 2-0 day yesterday. Today, in wholesome in my last 18 selections, 12-6. So we are steamrolling across that board. I have a 2-pack tonight. I have a 3-star play, and I have a 2-star play. That 2-star play is a first 5-inning matchup, and it is plus 200 odds. So we're looking to cash heavy there. I'm looking for a 2-0 sweep across that mark. And then going over to the NBA, I have 2 plays tonight. I have action on both of them. Same situation. I have a 3-unit best bet and a 2-unit best bet. I have been capitalizing in the NBA, although I did take a loss yesterday with Philadelphia. So I am angry. I am not happy about it, but as sports handicappers, we always have to let the bad go and move on to the next day. And I am locked in, ready to go. Breakdowns are bulletproof. Full homework research done. Love my plays going out tonight. So you guys can get the full menu on my NBA picks. I have covered both of the NBA playoff matchups as well as, again, Doug, I've got the 2-pack and MLB. What about you, my friend?
All right, so I'm going to start off with the NBA, and I have a 7-unit best bet tonight. I absolutely love this game. I hit 5 of my last 7 NBA plays and looking to make it 6 out of 8. Like I said, it's a game I just absolutely love, and so look to cash yet again on another 7-unit best bet. I already mentioned that I got a 2-pack going tonight in Major League Baseball, so check that out. I'm going to be 2-0 come Saturday morning, or maybe even Friday night, as a matter of fact. And then not everybody does this, okay? But Kentucky Derby is this weekend. So here's the deal. Today, Friday, I got 2 races. One of them is the Kentucky Oaks. That's the big race. That's the female version of the Kentucky Derby. So I got 2 races today. And then I'll have 3 tomorrow. So right now, if you go in, you can purchase my package for the Kentucky Derby weekend from Docs. You're going to get 5 races for $35. I've hit 5 of my last 9 triple crown races. And noted expert, okay, just across the board on the ponies, and so looking to deliver. So check that out, $35 at Docs this upcoming weekend. All right, so a lot of you have been sitting here, hey, when are you guys going to shut up and give some best bets? Well, you know what? We've reached that time, okay? It's best bet time for me and Griffin. Griffin, fire away.
Let me kick off with the best bet, and I hate doing a repeat, but you know what? When you love a game, you love a game, and that's going to be between the New York Mets and the Tampa Bay Rays. As I mentioned, the Rays are overrated, 14-18 on the season, playing bad baseball, 2-8 in their last 10 games on a 2-game losing streak, averaging 3.8 runs a game. Jose Quintana for the Mets, not giving him enough credit. The guy shoves it. He's a southpaw. The Rays do not hit that well against left-handed pitching, let alone any pitching right now. New York is playing very good baseball. They're swinging the bat very well, and they are getting plus 130 value in this matchup. My best bet going at you guys right now is taking the New York Mets plus 130 on that value line, Doug. That is my best bet for you guys.
All right, that's outstanding. And just to be clear, so everybody understands, these are best bets for the show. Okay, these are not our personal plays. It's nothing to do with anything that we have selling at Docs, nothing at all like that. These are the best bets that we like for the show. So always keep that in mind. All right. So, well, I'm going to go to the outhouse on my best bet. Okay.
Let's hear it.
Colorado at Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Rockies, number 22 in scoring. Put them on the road. They fall to 26th. After a great start, okay, the Pirates have just stunk it up. Their offense is terrible. They're down to 26th in scoring. Here's the thing, though. When you get to May and you got a National League team like the Pirates that are a home favorite of minus 110 or higher, who are hitting 250 or lower, facing a team that has a bullpen with an ERA of 5.0 or higher, when that happens, teams since 2020, teams like the Pirates are 38-8 in this exact spot.
Wow.
Give me Pittsburgh on the money line to get the job done tonight for my best bet on our Doc's Baseball show.
I love it, man.
Hey, that was fun. Okay, and the time, I can't believe the time went by so quickly, Griffin. That was a lot of fun. I hope everybody had as much fun as we did doing it. And if you like what you heard, okay, give us a like. Okay, we certainly appreciate that here, and that would be outstanding to do. As I said, we will be back next week, same time, okay, to have a whole new best bets and everything else, talking about the American League Central. Griffin, anything else you'd like to add?
No, man, just happy to be on the show with you, man. It's been a year and a half. We've been on the phone talking baseball, trying to connect for a game, and then here we are a year and a half later on the show, chopping it up, mixing it up, finally giving our output to the community, the people, the public. I couldn't be happier to be here with you, man. Very excited for the show to progress, very excited to get things rolling, and couldn't be happier for another MLB weekend, my friend. Let's cash some tickets and have ourselves a weekend.
I agree with you 100%. So everybody have yourself a great weekend just across the board. Be safe. Do whatever you have to do. Let's hope you cash as many winners as Griffin and I expect to. Thanks for watching, and we will return next week. This is Griffin Murphy, Doug Upstone for DocSports. Until next time, we're out.
Thanks, guys.